Okay, we're picking this up on December 20th. I wrote, now we're not, I want to point out something else here. Your mother and I never really talked on the phone. She would text you, she would never call here, not really, except maybe to say she was here to pick her up. And most of the times I talked to your mother was in person if I walked out to the car and saw her. So a lot of the dynamics in our relationship had changed, even if we weren't fighting. And I wrote to her, I switch vacations with you. Then you take away my trip to Providence. Then you take away my last sleepover with her. Why? Because she has to sleep until 2 p.m. at my place? Why couldn't I have taken her home at 10 a.m.? She gets up for school every morning. She gets up at 5 a.m. to fly to Florida. But I'm not good enough to have her get up early and go home and get ready for the party? I need a companion, somebody I can talk to, not a mute who sits in my chair and plays video games and ignores me. Unless it's time to eat, she runs back to her computer. I asked her to help me label CDs, do some work for me. This was my big hope that she would help me out with my work, and especially because I need artwork done on my DVDs and CDs. I thought she'd really be into it, but that never happened. Back to the Gmail. Her handwriting is better than mine. She does about 5 things I ask her to do, and then quits. And I had to finish the job myself. So I could mail them back. And this is for my home business, too, and I get a lot of work in November, December. So I was really inundated with work, a lot of work to do. And I needed a place where she sits, too, to do the work. Back to the email. Me talking. Maybe when she gets meds and starts acting normal, or she can spend some quality time with me. But you can get a cab Friday. I'm done. That was to the airport. I work like a dog every day and can't pay my bills, and all I would like is a little help around the house or with my work. I don't need her to come here and just ignore me for 4 hours. What's the point? Get her better. Get her meds. You've screwed me over time and time again. Well, this was the last straw for this year. See, the Providence thing was still stuck in my craw, and then she takes the last sleepover of the year away from me. Entitlement. That is what she has. She has the sense of entitlement that she can just do whatever she wants to do. And I'm sure that if it wasn't court ordered, she probably would never let me see you at all after the divorce. But we can't say what would have happened. She writes back, Lyle, I hear how much pain you're in because of your perceived slights of me. Interesting wording, perceived slights of me. Okay. Well, we all perceive one another. We don't ever really know. I mean, that's how we judge one another, is our perception of one another, But it's her way of saying, I didn't do anything wrong. She continues to write, I never planned to keep you from taking her to Providence. I have no record of your request to take her there. Let's roll back the Gmails. I'm getting off here, but I'm saying all she has to do is look at the back emails and she'll see it there. And plus, she writes everything down. She just didn't care. She writes, I feel like I had explained the reason I booked us to Florida. She did. I understood that. It's because I thought my mom was at the end of her days. Well, it's over 4 years later and she's still alive, but I can kind of understand that because I went through that with my dad. She writes, I didn't think she was recover from her last bad illness after she was in ICU several days and then bedridden for almost a week. Her muscles got very weak, and and her brain is declining, but somehow she's alive. She lives in an assisted living apartment. I suspect Mom will never know who we are, but she can't recall names. She won't know my name, and I expect she won't live too many years longer. I write, I don't get to see her on weekends or on her birthday or on my birthday. I don't get to help her in this time of her fragile situation. So what I'm pointing out is that here once again, I'm going through a whole Christmas season of not seeing my daughter, and my birthday is in the middle of that. And the trip to Providence was in there. So you got Christmas, my birthday, New Year's, and trip to Providence. And I understand why your mother wanted to go switch with me to go to Florida in Christmas. But she came back the 4th to save money. She could have come back, early enough to. I mean, I don't know how much to say, but that's all she wrote. It wasn't about her mother. It was about her saving money. And, about sleeping, why couldn't I take her home? She says, she uses curse words here. Perhaps I fucked up the plan for the weekend. I misjudged the days and the need to be prepared for that party. Then things got confusing. I was exhausted and wanted to get her at 8. She told me she was eating. Then an hour later, she still wasn't ready. You could have said, hey, look, let her stay overnight. She'll get home in time. Somewhere along the line, it got confusing. I have no idea you were this pissed off about all this. You'll see her in January. It's not like it's such a long way away. She'll be the same annoying teen. Okay, your mother's calling you an annoying teen. All right, calling your names. Check the email on that date. She'll be the same annoying teen. She'll like the same games. Yes, she gets up early for school, which is why she decompresses on weekends. Being upset about this recent weekend is why you say you are done. That's just showing your impatience. Yeah, okay. Done for the year, I said. Not done, but done for the year. Because that was the last chance I got to see her for the year. That's why I said that. She writes, I understand your desire to have somebody around who gets and who does things for you, wants to help, but putting that pressure on a teenager is unfair. Are you kidding me? Maybe in her condition, which we didn't really understand that much at that time, that statement might be true, but neither of us knew. And parents ask their teenagers to do chores all the time. And I asked Juliette, do you do any chores at home? She says, no. Do you iron? Do you wash dishes? Do you make a bed? And I just went down the laundry list of things that I think that parents have their teenagers do all the time. And I have her do them here. She even stopped brushing her teeth and taking showers. And she would sleep in the same clothes she came in. She wouldn't even change her pajamas or change her underwear. Back to the email. Your mother says, I understand your desire to have somebody around. Okay, you put some kind of pressure on Gar, and he quit coming to see you. Well, she doesn't know anything about my relationship to my half-brother, speculation, I don't know whether she, what was, I didn't put pressure on my Gar. To tell you the honest truth, I really didn't get along with Gar and things. And she talks about a couple of my other friends, which really has nothing to do with this. So I'm just going to leave their names out of it because I don't want to drag their names into this unnecessarily. It has nothing to do with the whole incident here. I haven't heard about this incident asking her to do some jobs for me, but I suspect that if you got pissed off after the 5 labels are done, that made her withdraw from you and not want to help more. See, mother's seeing that your behavior is not normal. But then she comes and says to me, I really cannot stand it when you say she's not normal. Well, no parent likes to hear that about their child. And I put that down as one of the major reasons why she would not take her to a psychiatrist, because she didn't want to hear that her child had a problem. She writes, I get that you want to get meds in her, and you think that will fix things. I think meds could help a lot, but she is normal for somebody with social anxiety. By calling her out as abnormal, you probably trash her self-esteem. What little she has, she needs unconditional love, not criticism, constant anger, and impatience. In this, you are implying that I am calling her abnormal. No, I am telling your mother that her behavior is not normal. Not you. Then she says she's got a ride to the airport. It's a big deal driving somebody to the airport. I mean, it's a big favor to ask somebody. And entitlement, once again. I know that you're saying, she writes, I know you're saying this answer, but what's the point? Being in the same place together, offering a safe environment despite her anxieties would be nice. That's true. I'd rather see her under any conditions. But I suspect you get angered very easily by her actions, or rather her inactions, and that makes her withdraw and shut down. This is also true, but once again, you have to chalk this up to the fact that neither of us knew how bad her condition was. All right? I was the one that came up with social anxiety disorder. I'm the one that pressured your mother into seeing a psychiatrist. I'm the one that noticed this. Okay, let me see if I can finish this. Hopefully she can try something out in January. Can you contribute to co-pays? It's all very expensive. Well, sure, I would have paid for it all, Also, you can consider, and just getting an evaluation. I didn't want her to see a psychiatrist on a continuing basis unless she had to. I just wanted to get one visit, one evaluation. Also, can you consider a psych med yourself to help you even out your moods? Okay? Do not believe in medicines. I don't live in a Huxleyan world, okay? She writes, it is disturbing when you email me such hard things and ask, like, if she is my daughter. Okay, I admit that's a little rough, but it's bullshit track. Here she's swearing again, okay? So she's sworn twice, I only did once. It's bullshit trash talk one day and then trying to make like it never happened after a few days. You want what is best interest more than in her best. What is your best interest more than her best interest? Nothing could be further from the truth. And she writes, perhaps a psych med would help her even things out. Now she's saying, you want to give her psych meds, and then she admits that maybe they were. And she finally says, I do not ever intentionally screw you over. You perceive everything in that negative way, but some things happen that are emotional, like my mom's problems. Mom owes good to you. That's very true. Some things happen that are important, like her going to a party, or damaging, like you telling her that she is not normal. I never told her she's not normal. I'm really shocked that something happened, and by Sunday, you didn't want to get her for a few hours. She was stressed and afraid when she couldn't leave you a message on your phone, so I tried calling, no answer. I feel like she's afraid of you. These ups and downs are really bad lately. In 2016, we must stay calm for her sake. All right, I'll give her credit for saying a few good things there. and sounding like she wants to address this. So I'm pretty hopeful, okay? I wrote one more thing about some friends of mine that have nothing to do with the situation, okay? And I'm not going to read them because I do not want to. And in the first video I sent too, I edited something out because that was actually wrong. And I don't want to speak ill of people that just aren't involved in any of this. They're involved in other parts of my life, you know. And so if you see the emails, you can read them yourself. Who's Ron? Who's Severio? What's this all about? Nothing to do with you, me, your mother, and stuff like that. And that ends the very long video, the longest one I've sent, of 12:21. The next video is going to be more stuff she wants me to sell for her on eBay, and then we get into January. Okay, I love you, Juliette. Bye.